The world is veiled in darkness. The wind stops, the sea is wild, and the earth begins to rot. The people wait, their only hope, a prophecy. When the world is in darkness, 4 warriors will come. After a long journey, 4 young warriors arrive, each holding an orb. Tonight, Friday, August 10th, the year 2018. One shall stand, one shall fall. The Final Fantasy Randomizer community, starting with the development team, the Nitzes, the Meridians, the Game Boy F9s, our leadership, the Zardias, the Ikbin Mayas, our guinea pigging team, the Brilliant and Insanes, and the Rainbow Poogles, the best broadcast group anywhere, the Sforzondos, Trittons, Mr. Versettis, Demarines, Moist Mogwais, Woats, the Hangry Canucks, Alley Gerbrats, Valconics, and the infectious Wilcleosises present to you, the fans, the Palom BMs, the Animaniacs, Super Red Jacks, E-Taps, Sports Jeffies, in conjunction with our broadcast partner Speed Gaming. It's the 2018 Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring and Summer Tournament Finals! Game 3. Tonight, we crown a new Final Fantasy Randomizer champion. On the left side of your screen, the man of destiny, Edgeworth. Is tonight Edge's time? Will he finally fulfill that destiny that so many think he is destined for? Can Edge avenge his previous tournament loss to his opponent tonight? The man on the right side of your screen, who is looking himself to avenge a loss in the previous tournament finals. He is Final Fantasy Randomizer. He is the franchise! xIceblue! Bringing you fans the action and the crowning of a new champion here tonight on Speed Gaming. It's out of the shadows. The man there can only be one of. It is the legend Artea SRL. And joining him on the call this evening, he is one half of Team Willuminati. Please welcome the Emerald City Saint, Will Bloodworth!
Yes, thank you very much, Will Cleostis, for that introduction. This is indeed game number 3, the rubber match, the deciding factor on who will win this championship in the 2018 Spring-Summer Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament. I am joined today by the legend Artea. Artea, how the hell are you tonight?
Very well, thank you. Just going to cut the intro a bit short. We had our first look at the magic shops in Conaria, and we see that Life 2 is available at the White Magic Shop in a night castable slot. On top of little help in the early game in the form of a low damage spell called Ice 3 that should help both of these runners take out Garland in a quick and orderly manner.
Yes, definitely. Couldn't ask for a better elemental spell than that. Let's take a look and see what Edgeworth does to Garland here. Probably going to make short work of him. Ooh, almost not.
Now, I know we're not supposed to take sides, but are you leaning in one way or the other? Do you think that xIce will finally combat the rampant corruption in Sky Castle and clutch a win, or will Edgeworth assert his Alpha Tyro dominance and say, "No, you shall not, good sir"?
Well, in with respect to this call, I am calling it right down the middle. I picked this final between Edgeworth and xIceblue. I chose xIceblue as the winner a little bit because of a need for vindication after last year, but either one of these runners is fully capable of beating the other on any given day. So today, it's going to come down to who executes the cleanest, who makes the right decisions at the right times, and who gets a little bit of luck on their side.
And right off the bat, we see the floater pickup for Edgeworth, and Ice is going to follow in a couple of seconds as soon as he takes down Garland. I don't think we'll be around for 3 hours tonight, folks.
It doesn't seem like it. It looks like it's setting up to be a Jet Seed with a really, really strong elemental spell to start off, with Life 2 and with access to the airship super, super early. But we have seen some weird fetch quests, some weird chest placements that have caused some longer seeds, even when it kind of flirts with the idea of maybe looking like a Jet Seed at the start. So we don't know yet.
Yeah, we're still not safe from the trolley early floater that you haul around for half the game as you pick up your canoe in Sky Castle.
Mm-hmm. Now, we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of enemies so far, but have we seen any nasty spells or status attacks or anything of that sort yet? Because I haven't caught anything.
I mean, in fairness, with the with Ice 3 this early on, everything has just been blasted in about half a second, so we haven't gotten around to seeing anything dangerous yet.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Edgeworth took an opportunity to buy a whole hell of a lot of real estate in the form of cabins. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of those floating down the river in the near future. There goes one.
It makes you wonder. I mean, I can accept having one or two, lakeside cabins, but do you really need 46 of them?
If he's looking to encounter manipulate early, then yes, and it's also going to save him an extra shopping trip a little bit later. I think this is gonna get him through the majority of the game.
Well, Edgeworth learning the hard way that early on at level 3 with no armor, you do not mess with Hydras.
But he's gonna mess with them again.
Yeah.
Ice going ahead and picking up some wooden. Well, maybe not. But he is gonna grab some extra magic. Little harm 3. Get a look at the level 3 black magic. We got Bane, we have Fire 3.
Well, the Black Mage won't be wanting for any firepower anytime soon.
Nope. Fade. There it is.
Calling it now, folks. This seed is officially free.
It's about as free as it's going to get at this point. Some kind of pain in the butt ogres here with stun.
Now, this late into the run, and by late I mean like 6 minutes in, I'm surprised that both racers have all 4 party members up.
I don't think Ice is going to have that terribly much longer. I think once he sees level 3 Fade, since he's also going to have life 2, he's probably going to ditch that Black Mage, I have to assume.
Well, unfortunately for him, the ogres put a stopper on that plan.
Going anywhere for a while? Ice almost getting the job done on Hydra here. Not quite. At least one of those fighters is going to pick up some XP.
And more importantly, Cell now has Fire 3 online. By getting his level 5, he now has level 3 Black Magic, which gives him a tiny little boost in offensive capabilities.
And I think that's also going to give level 5 to the White Mage, which I think gives access to Fade?
Also, yes. The Red Mage is the one that has a much, much slower spell charge and spell level growth than the pure Black and White Mages.
I think that level 3 hits at, I think, 7 for the Red Mage. And that's when you get the first spell charge of level 3 magic.
I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's 6, but I haven't used Red Mage in so long, I don't remember.
Yeah, nor have I. I'm usually running some characters solo.
I've been running mostly Fighter Black Mage 2-man lately, and I wind up in Temple of Fiends with more charges of level 8 than most Red Mages get at 5, so I really don't remember, but the difference is huge.
So, I think in the White Magic shop, we saw Invis 2. And heal 3.
I think it was it Gyre that was talking about Fog 2 versus Invis 2 last night, and I really have to agree with him. I personally think Fog 2 is the better spell.
Really?
Yeah. Fog 2, you get immediate benefits out of it. Invis 2, you need to stack really, really high to reach that quote-unquote unhittable status.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I mean, it's avoidance. It's just luck. You can get screwed, you can get crit. Fog will reduce the damage of any hit you take, and if there's one thing you can count on is if you must absolutely not get hit, you will. So you might as well stack the iron armors like Edgeworth is doing right now and get as much absorb in as you can, because that's something you can depend on. It's not luck based.
Right. Yes, you let the math work for you. I think when you're talking about late game, when you're talking about like multiple hits from somebody like a Kraken 2 or a beefy team at 2, Chaos, I think Invis 2 can tip the scales a bit just by virtue of making more misses happen. But just about the rest of the entire game, I think it's going to be hard to debate you on that. I think.
I mean, it's accurate that you will eat less hits. I mean, even if it's luck based. I mean, if you have 2 or 3 stacks of Invis, like, the Kraken's not going to hit you 12 times. Like,
Right.
He might, but if he does, then you just chalk that up as random BS that happens.
Exactly.
But the Fog 2 cast will make you take significantly less damage from eating those 12 hits.
It's like level 6 has nuke, so if there is going to be a character Dan, if there was any doubt about it, on xIceblue side, it's definitely going to be that Black Mage. We saw a crystal pickup.
I shed a tear every time a Black Mage dies. It's like, it's the best mage in the game, why are you killing him?
Well, I don't know about in this seed specifically, but it is definitely usually a pretty powerful mage to have.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good spells. Honestly, there are, what, 4, maybe 5 black magic spells that are not serviceable in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I mean, stuff like Bane, Brack, Zap, Quad X, even Rub in a pinch can help you out depending on the flag set,
Right.
you know, depending on what else you have available.
If it's a level 1 spell and you need to kill Garland with it, sure.
You can go up to, like, Crescent Lake area. I mean, it's not super reliable on Giants and Peds,
Mm-mm.
but they can work.
Sure.
Stuff like Bane and Zap, Bane specifically for lobsters is great. Zap is great for stuff like lobsters, the seafood party mix in Sea Shrine,
Absolutely.
or the undead trap tile in Ice.
Yep.
You're not gonna kill all of them, but it'll get 4 to 6, maybe more.
It's mitigating loss.
Exactly. It's one throwaway spell. You eat less damage, or you kill the entire thing and you collect your XP and gold.
For sure. So we've got a pickup of a ribbon and a pickup of a sun sword here in Canaria Castle. Pretty damn good start.
Well, at 11 minutes and 20 seconds, Edgeworth's fighter has now officially become God. He is set to carry the rest of the run.
Yep. Relatively effortlessly, I'd think.
Oh, pretty much. I mean,
Pickup. TNT on xIceblue side. It's going to come down to how the routing, when they're going to high five and how far along they're going to be when they do. Dang. There's an opal bracelet. This seed just gets freer and freer and freer and freer.
XIceblue apparently choosing to go for a pop grind. I can't say I understand why, but
Might
we'll
be a dual
see.
purpose. Might be trying to kill off the Black Mage and pick up some XP, but I don't see a need to grind if you have the litany of spells that you have right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just go to town, and eventually he's gonna die. I mean, he's a black mage. He's going to die. If you want him to die, he will.
Sure. Just ask him.
Yeah, pretty much. Breathe on him heavily.
Yeah. Black Mage is great for a lot of things except staying alive.
Yeah. It takes quite a few levels on him to reach fluff your nuke HP.
Roughly 50 levels, I think, is about the right level.
I don't know. My black mages have been reliably surviving at around 33. They can soak a nuke and a nuclear. It's not that bad. Well, it's not necessarily the HP, though. It does reach pretty
it's
high
MDef.
level for black mage. It's the MDef, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like nothing's going to hurt a 20 fighter. Like,
No.
nothing.
I know a level 5 exit. Level 5 Quad X.
My favorite spell, personally.
Definitely one of mine.
Yep.
Mine's fast, but I think Quad X is probably number 2 or 3.
Well, I mean, fast is absurdly good in the late game.
Yes.
Once you have a weapon, once you have, a couple of hits on your fighters, and then doubling the hits actually does something. But in terms of raw early game power spikes, Quad X is the best you can get. It'll work on giants. It'll usually work on peds, or you whack them with a silver sword and you hit them with Quad X. It really speeds up the early game to have access to those spells early, Brack, Quad X, stuff like that.
I don't know about no temper, limited temper. It's almost irrelevant. No, we see loot in the shop here. Okay, it's at this stage of the game. Like, if you get fast versus temper, fast is obviously going to be the better choice.
Yeah. Well, on Ice's side, having 2 casts of temper is absurdly powerful. Temper is a completely broken spell because, unlike the Power Gauntlet or Saber, you don't have to sacrifice a round for it. You can just swing, and somebody else will beef you up.
Correct.
It's usually more raw damage to cast Temper than to cast Nuke.
So it looks, if we're kind of hypothesizing here on who is ahead, I'm going to say Edge currently is ahead a little bit, but how big of a gap are we looking at right now?
Honestly, look at levels. In my opinion, anyway. A lot of people get hung up on, it's key items and he has more key items and stuff like that. But no, you want a clear definition of who's ahead. Look at levels. Look at how much XP per minute they're getting compared to their opponents.
Sure.
And stretch that across the entire run. And usually that's what happens. Maybe somebody reaches Volcano at 20 minutes instead of 10, but he gets there and he has 7 levels on his opponent.
Yeah, you're going to cruise through that dungeon a lot faster than your opponent did.
Exactly. And that's 7 levels that you don't need to get for the other dungeons after that. Stuff that people don't necessarily think about. Fighter breakpoints for hits are huge.
Oh, yeah, well, people think about the 24 breakpoint all the time with Masa, or 29. I think it's 29 for Xcal, 29 for a couple other weapons.
33 for Xcal for the, But I mean, those are great breakpoints for the late game, but early game level 5 is a huge breakpoint for the fighter. That's a double hit. That's the I will one-shot a creeper, an ogre, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Spell charges, same thing. Mages have breakpoints too.
The spell charges are something to be mindful of, especially if you're, as in your case, trying to shoestring your way through every dungeon and maximize every resource you've got and not spend a whole bunch of time building that up.
Absolutely.
You want to have accountability of what you've got.
Absolutely.
So, Ice is checking out these Temple of Fiends chests, and Edgeworth is dealing with some Sphinxes, and the riddle of the Sphinx is that they have Death Touch.
Well, unfortunately, we won't be seeing Sea Shrine 2, The Return of the Lobster tonight, folks. I'm sorry.
Nope. Our seafood isn't going to be as raw as it was the other nights.
Well, mind you, we could... I mean, unfortunately, we're not going to see the best mob to have Death Touch ever.
Oh, the Great Medusas?
Which would be Great Medusas, yeah, exactly. You remember that one.
Oh, I do.
But we might see them have Stone Touch.
That would be nasty. Yeah, this seed is going incredibly fast.
Yeah, looking at the way it's going, should be about
115.
I don't know, 115, 120-ish, yeah. And I say this, and we're gonna run into a Sky Castle with unrunnable nuke airs.
Ouch. That's not something that they want to see, but I'm sure it's something that the fans would relish. It's the only way we're gonna elongate this, sort of a absolutely atrocious Temple of Fiends.
Oh yeah, I mean, this channel right now is essentially an object lesson in sadism.
If nothing else, that's certainly the rando spectator community at large.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like pedestal seeds, marsh cave, TFCs. Let's do it. Ice Sword, Wizard Staff. Might get some use in that carry fight. So I'm wondering how... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Just wondering how much of this was route divergence and how much of this is xIceblue catching up to Edgeworth's progress in terms of item acquisition, exploration.
Again, I'll go back to my original point. Look at the levels.
Mhm.
Ice chose to do a bit of a pop grind, and I mean, he's not that far behind. Yes, he is in terms of, you know, chests open and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
in the long run, it really doesn't matter as much as you might think.
See, with a seed like this, the reason I'm like, and I'm usually a big proponent of grinding. I'm kind of the opposite of a lot of the players, but in this respect, with this kind of a flag set, with these spells having access this early, I don't grind because look where Edgeworth is. Look what enemies he's running into. He's got peds that he could be fading, or that he could just be wiping out with Ice 3.
Yeah.
Packs of Perilous. There's lots of things he could be getting XP off of without having to do a grind. Fires.
Perilous are free XP. I
Very
mean, you
much.
can just throw a Lit 2 or Bane or anything at them and they just die.
For sure.
And like the XP yield on them is worth the time.
I think we just saw level 9 on his side.
Yep.
And I didn't catch
So
where Ice
not
was
that
at.
far ahead of Edgeworth, but Edgeworth has been losing a bunch of time just resetting out of this volcano.
There's some Argoyles. And they are unrunnable. And they have Stun Touch. So that's a nasty combination.
That it is. So we've seen, what, 1 or 2 stun touches? Only 14 left?
Well, I think this we had it was a stun ability from the ogres. It wasn't a stun touch. Let's see. And Edgeworth still clearing out this top floor.
Running away from, well, fortunately, Cell got the cast in.
There you are.
I mean, that's a nice chunk of XP. You can't say no to that.
456 across the board for nothing.
Unfortunately, he has 4 party members up, but, you know.
And he will continue to. He's not going to Dan either of them.
I mean, one thing that nobody talks about, on top of the XP bonus, which is honestly significant, each dead party member is a third of a second
Yes.
per round of combat
I've actually made that
in
point.
input time alone.
Mhm.
It is huge.
Yep.
Because over the course of a run, you're going to get into what, maybe 180 to 200, 220 fights, give or take.
Something like that. Every single command, every single time they swing their sword or cast a spell, every time an AoE spell goes off from an enemy, anytime you use an AoE spell like a heal spell, it's all.
Well,
the heals are going to happen.
friendly AoE
Yes.
is going to hit dead party members anyway.
That's what-
so
yeah.
you're not saving time
I'm
there.
about to correct myself on that. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just on inputs, just saying run or do something as fast as humanly possible.
Mhm.
It's a third of a second.
Exactly. And you're talking to a guy who runs solos, for
Yeah.
fun. So I'm fully aware of that advantage. But yeah, most people, I don't think they really take that into account. And you're talking at the end of a game, probably adding up to a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 4.
It is absolutely minutes.
Yes.
On top of the XP lead, which, you reach breakpoints faster, you have more max HP. So if you get ambushed and blazed, well, you're not resetting out of it because you survive it.
Correct. There's a nice katana to sell if there's any need for money at all. Pick up some pro rings and some gold bracelets, perhaps. But that's really it. And Ice is at... I didn't catch. Looks like 9. And Bugsy pointing out that it's 9. Okay. I love how Edge always tests out the Grey Worms when he gets a chance.
It's, Quad X Brack. Throw it out there. If it kills him, it kills him. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Sure.
Yeah, it's free XP.
It is.
Free XP for what, half a second?
Mhm. Have we seen anything relatively spectacular here in the ways of chests in Volcano? Because I don't recall anything.
I mean, not really. We got a bit of an expansion to the Night Starter pack of the Sun Sword with the Aegis Shield, but I mean, in a world of ribbons, which, let's be honest, if anybody's getting a ribbon, it's your carry, so you're a fighter.
Mhm.
You don't care about the Aegis Shield. All you need is an Opal Shield. And even
Right.
now, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
No. Edge might be skipping that. Nope, no, he's not. Spoke too soon. Agama fact. This is probably one of the only Agama fights you will see in this scene.
I'd say we're gonna see at least 2 more.
You think if they check the Red Dragon chest, they would, yeah. And so, Maya asking if you can take carry safely here. The answer is absolutely.
Absolutely not. He needs a bit more HP. It's not a question of can he kill carry, because he can. Can he survive reliably on average? No.
With the firepower out there, I think the only thing that they really have to fear would be a powerful AoE.
Well, he's sitting on iron armor, so he's gonna get meleeed for about 80 to 120 on average.
For sure.
Like, could be worse, could be a bit less. Dangerous AoEs, so Thunder, Blizzard, Poison, the entire Tiamat stack, essentially. That's gonna be about 80 to 200 apiece. You know, 1 round of dangerous AoE followed by 1 melee could potentially wipe him. Might take a bit more. If she's a bit on the beefy side, he's not gonna have enough raw damage to take her down before people.
The way I'm looking at it is you've got 1 character with Fade, you've got 1 character with Quad X and Ice 3, and you've got a Sun Sword on one of the 2 fighters. And you've got a Life 2 spell to get all 4 of your characters there if you're Edgeworth, 3 if you're XIceblue. I'll have to disagree with you on a rare occasion here, but I think that this carry fight shouldn't be a real big issue for him.
Yeah, I mean, lowest carry I've taken down was level 7.
Mhm.
Probably never gonna do that again.
I think I've done it at 5, but it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's not a question of you can't. You absolutely can.
You shouldn't.
But the odds that you're gonna get smashed are just not in your favor.
Yeah, here we're going to see the Fade and the... Oh, no Quad X charges.
No Quad X, his Black Mage is way too low to be casting level 5 yet.
So we've done about 270, 280 damage here. And he's got Stone Touch. Carrie,
Nice.
she has Stone Touch. And now we have 2 fighters.
So, as I was saying...
Right. However...
But he gets her down.
Way too much firepower for anything other than a large AoE. I thought, and that was me assuming that Edgeworth had a charge of Quad X in there in the chamber.
Yeah. Let's go back to that fight, and instead of meleeing the second fighter, she melees the White Mage. Now your Fade's gone. Your Black Mage can't do anything, and your fighters are hitting for 40. Not enough raw damage, you die.
True. Again, assuming that there is a Quad X in the chamber, my assumption is that we have a low enough HP total on carry at that point to ice it. But yeah, Fuchsia, Ice is possibly going to have some issues with this fight with the 3-man party and a Stone Touch carry.
That depends on how high fighter gets before he fights carry, but yeah. At level 10, he is definitely going to have a huge amounts of trouble. Meanwhile, Edge is making his way to his ice cave to go check out the incentive chest there. We haven't actually talked about incentives, if you want to do the honors.
Well, the incentives on these, I believe there are 20 possible things you can pick up. 4 of them are going to be in loose chests. The NPCs, I think there's going to be 13 NPCs who can hand out the incentive items. And there's going to be... Let's see... Then you got the 3 incentives here. The Ice Cave. You've got an incentive in Ordeals. And I know I'm missing one somewhere. Oh, the shop item. There's going to be one item in a shop. This seed, it was the loot. It was like 8,000 or so, if I recall.
Not something you really care about until you've beaten the Phantom.
Right. xIceblue having issues with an Agama fight here. Okay. Yeah, the lesser concern right now for xIceblue is... It's not the damage he has to worry about, it's the stone touch.
Yeah. Comes back to what we were talking about a bit earlier with magic defense.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The fighter is starting at like 16, 17. I mean, you can reliably expect him not to get the status hit.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Carrie has 1 million hits, so it's a bit more of an issue.
Yeah, I don't like xIceblue's situation very much right now relative to Edgeworth's a couple of minutes ago. It's primarily because of that 3-person party. You can losing any of these 3 characters in round 1 is a possible death sentence. And xIceblue doesn't know what he's walking into.
So, the thing about 3 mana is you should be a lot higher level by the time you even reach the volcano than Ice is right now, so he hasn't really taken advantage of it as much as he should have.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's definitely going to feel the pain.
I'm not sure why he's grinding the... Not only why he's grinding the Agamas, but why he's using a dangerous step-off tile to do so, when he could just walk back... Okay, there he goes. It might have just been an accident.
Probably. I mean, we all have that one button we press to make combat messages disappear, so for Ice it was probably the down button.
Mm-hmm. So we saw Ruby pick up on that chest for the eye. Now, Edgeworth is going to clear out this 6-pack here. Masa, now that's a good pickup. Seed gets even freer.
Yep. Unlike the meme sword, that's one thing we know isn't going to get vendored.
That's correct. Not going to get thrown into the volcano. Not going to get thrown out of the window of the sky cave. It will be used.
And the good thing about Masa is, unlike pretty much every other decent to exceptional weapon, like say the X-Cal, you can use it without class changing.
Mm-hmm.
On anyone.
Can't say that about anything except for the Sun Sword. I think the Sun Sword is the most powerful weapon you can have short of a class change, aside from Masa.
It is. Well, it is. It depends on hit breakpoints. The defense can sometimes be better if it gives you an extra hit.
There's I think 2 or 3 levels in between. There's like level 30, I think, is one of them, where it kind of barely edges out Sun.
It depends on the class that's equipping it, whether it's a fighter or red mage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fighter gets a lot more hit per level than the red mage does.
Sure. Yeah, we're getting to like minutia here. It's almost negligible differences between the two.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's that kind of thing that's fun to nerd out and talk about, but
that's what we're here for.
In practice, it really doesn't matter.
No. Not taking any chances and using the exit. Yep, Maya pointing out there's not much Ice can do if this carry fight goes poorly, because everything is going relatively well for Edgeworth right now. He hasn't had too much of a stall out at any point. A little bit of a delay in Volcano 2, but pretty much trucking along without issue at this point. And now with Masa in tow, it's going to be hard to slow him down.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm honestly blaming the detour to Peninsula Power on Ice's side for this one right now.
And it wasn't a fruitful one because
Exactly. He went there. He accomplished essentially nothing except killing a black mage, which honestly doesn't deserve recognition at all.
Right. Well, the race may hinge on this fight.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Well, good luck to you, xIceblue. Well, not stone touched yet. We might be okay here.
Oh, now he's in trouble.
Mist Fade should do it. Yep, and we're good. Thankfully, we still have a race, guys. Yeah, Will Cleosis pointing out, you can't win the match at this point, but you can lose it. The only way you're going to win a match is if your opponent makes the bigger mistake at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they have all the resources to carry them to Temple of Fiends, and I mean, with these flags, Temple of Fiends is not a huge challenge.
No. 200% is... It's like, I think it was like round 2 or 3 of the last tournament, and we were at 220.
I mean, let's be fair, the mob scaling slider is not a difficulty slider, it's just a how likely are you to get screwed by RNG slider.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can still run into some pretty beefy Temple of Fiends mobs, but you know what you're up against. So if you're in there and you're having trouble, you either bet on not running into issues or you were significantly underprepared. Which, honestly, with the spells collection and these free weapons and the airship and everything they've had so far, I mean,
it's almost impossible to be underprepared.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not for these guys.
Still waiting on that tail. You can take full advantage of that Dragon Armor Aegis Shield pack. While xIceblue looks to collect his ruby. One of my least favorite fights in the game right here, xIceblue side. Ooh! Bonk Glove right next to the Bane Sword.
Yeah, that's one of my... The Bane Sword is amazing and will carry you through most of the game. The Power Gauntlets, though, I mean, they're one of those items that I always make room for, but I never wind up using it. Like, maybe once or every 3 or 4 runs.
Huh. Well, I think we have very different strats with how we both play, and I'm still stuck in the mentality of the black belt meta. But yeah, I can see why you wouldn't need to use it as much if you're depending on mage strats with temporary.
Oh, I mean, with these flags, like I've said, I've been running a ton of fighter black mage 2-man lately, and it's essentially step 1, get a fighter. Step 2, get a black mage. Addendum, you can do either of those in either order, it doesn't matter. And then use the black mage to carry the fighter to god status, and then just use the fighter. that is essentially it.
Yep, and it works in this. With these flag sets, that works. It works dependably.
Yep, absolutely.
Not running into like Temple of Fiend walls where you're coming up against a high evasion, high absorb Kraken 2, Tiamat 2, or Chaos, where 5 stacks of Temper isn't doing squat for your Masa or Vorpal holding fighter.
I mean, you do run into them every once in a while, but I mean, your Masa, your Excal, or whatever is gonna crit, and you have a Black Mage, so you have like 4 or 5 charges at level 8, you can temper reliably, you can fast reliably, it's really not an issue. I mean, you don't reach the crazy 255 absorb of say 400 or 500% seeds.
What we used to have in 1.44, and we have a white shirt pickup here. Yet another great reason for class change. And a crown from the Lupa Lupas. Now for Go mode, we still need a Oxyale and the cube. If there's anything else out there that we're missing for Go mode, please feel free to point it out. But as far as I'm aware, it's just the cube and an Oxyale at this point before they're in effective Go mode.
Or theoretical Go mode.
Right.
I mean, you could theoretically dive down into Temple of Fiends wearing no armor and no weapons, but let's see how far that gets you.
Well, I've done it. I don't recommend it. Not if you're trying to beat somebody else doing the same thing.
Yeah, no. It's kind of like, I don't recommend the solo thief.
No. Yeah, it's for entertainment purposes only, kids. Don't try this at home. Ice is pretty much just... Ice and Edge are pretty much doing the same things in slightly different orders here, but the routing is similar but different enough. And I would say that we're pretty close in terms of progression. So we won't see a lead open up here until when and if someone makes a somewhat big mistake or some nasty RNG hits somebody.
Unfortunately, the dream of the Death Touch or Stone Touch lobsters is gone.
Oh yeah. Well, Bismarck, say hello to Speedrunner Hudson for us. Looks like xIceblue is starting back over at the beginning of this.
Edge trying to weasel his way out of a Temple of Fiend encounters here. In my opinion, just Ice 3 and keep going. You're gonna waste as much, if not less, time.
Run Ice is not a bad strategy.
Yep. Best case, you get lucky. Worst case, well, you take it out and you don't reset 50 times to get it.
Yep. And you get a, like, 15-20 experience. Something, it was Astos, something, da-da-da. Yeah.
Something, get rubbed.
Yeah. And have the...
Well, Edge picked up his Oxyale, so all he needs now is a cube.
That's it. Edge is gonna make a quick Earth dive. Unless he's planning on clearing it, which I don't see the point of.
I mean, most chests aren't that far out of the way.
No.
I mean, yes, relatively to the entrance, they're very, very far, but there's a fixed path you need to go through anyway.
Right.
And it's not that many tiles out of your way to dig them up.
So he checks one chest?
Apparently.
Alright, that's something to ask in the post-game interview. just thought better of it and decided that was enough of a time investment in Earth Cave, and I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, maybe he was set on diving Earth and then remembered that he hadn't been to Cubebot yet.
Right. And Cubebot, if I'm going to guess, is probably going to have the tail.
Oh, come on, live a little. It's gonna be a bridge.
I think we're gonna have a bridge in a box.
Yep, bridge in the box and a cube on the second floor of Mirage.
Yep. That's exactly where I was thinking about it. In the plus minus, or the greater than less than.
Now, the unfortunate thing with that is we're not going to see the Marsh Cave.
Nope, that is unfortunate because I'm actually kind of fond of the Marsh Cave dives.
Yeah.
Since we don't see them very often.
Yeah, we really don't in the whole NPC shuffle thing.
Nope.
Where the fetch quest rewards are random. And like the king will give you the canoe, and then everybody skips Marsh, and we don't see it anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, it's effectively eliminated the Marsh from the entire meta. Oh, Ice, you did it again. You loop-a-looped.
I mean, back in our days, we used to go dive Marsh uphill in the snow, both ways, try to kill wizards, and get smashed for about 300 damage.
We did.
Yeah,
This is a thing that happened.
it was totally fun. Yeah, ambush shadows with blaze. It was amazing.
Wow. So you were looking for that somewhat big-ish mistake. I would say that getting loop-a-looped is probably like a 2-minute or so loss of time. That may be a difference maker, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a killer that we've all done.
And if you say you haven't done it, you're lying.
Absolutely. It's like killing the Phantom, going down the loot slab thingy, and then you're blocked.
Oh, I never got the key.
I never got the key, never turned the crown in.
Or trying to use a harm spell on the eye, forgetting that it's not undead. It won't work.
Nope. The Phantom is.
Phantom is
But
definitely
on
undead.
On the plus side, you can bane the eye, and it actually works reliably. And Edge receives his go mode from Cubebot. Cubebot holding cube, strangely enough.
What you know about some vanilla?
That 90% runs die before Astos.
So does Edge just actually go mode here?
I mean, he has the Power Gauntlet. His Black Mage is loaded for Bear. His White Mage has about 60,000 charges of life too, and has Fade.
Yep.
He's got the White Shirt. His White Mage can cast Invis, so that's 2 casts of Invis per round if he wants to. And Power Gauntlet is going to kill anything using your Bare Fists if you need to. So, I mean, he really doesn't need that much more. I mean, the fighter can get plenty of armor just from steel and silver shields and the Pro Ring.
He's in great shape.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not ideal.
No. With just one ribbon, it's not fantastic. And without class change to take advantage of Dragon and Aegis Shield.
Yeah,
No pro rings.
Not ideal. The difference between Dragon, well, just endgame Night Gear and Ice Armor, Flame Armor is massive, but it's not the end of the world.
No. I don't know if anybody saw Out of Bounds Bat. I didn't catch whether or not they did. So I think xIceblue best chance here is smart mitigation of his levels by virtue of having a 3-man party versus Edgeworth's current progress and not having loop-a-looped.
Well, Ice's fighter with the Masa is definitely more set up to carry than either of Edge's. It really depends on how encounters play out in Sky Castle and Seashore for both of them.
Right. If I'm him, I'm definitely taking fights here.
Oh, absolutely. There is not a bad fight in Mirage and Sky.
Nope. If Sentry has incredibly high absorb, it can be a delay, but with these percentages, it's not that bad.
No. The Vampire Club can be surprisingly dangerous. The one he's running away from right now has a great XP yield. The Medusas are worth a fortune. You should just kill that encounter.
Absolutely. Fire out a... Oh, and we have a reset. Speaking of great XP fights, vampires are wonderful.
They are, but they're dangerously. They can be really scary.
They can.
I mean, we've all been on the receiving end of a Tiamat floor 6-pack of vampires hitting you for 150 apiece.
Not fun stuff.
No,
Never
it's
fun
not.
stuff.
It is not.
And I would say yes, Edge probably wants to get to at least 24. Boy.
I'm running a 4-man party. You're going to reach about, I don't know, 19, 20 going into Temple Fiends, maybe 22, 23 if you take a couple of fights on the way down.
Right.
At level 20, it's perfectly feasible. You're just in nuke one-shot range, which is really scary.
That it is.
Not an issue if your knights can cast Life 2, which they can, but he doesn't have a tail, so... I mean, the real barrier is his White Mage's HP, so right now, if you want to go with a 4-man strat, just leave the Black Mage dead. Kill Kraken, go through Sky Castle, get the XP for the 3-man party, you got Fate to carry you anyway. Your White Mage gets levels. Less in danger of dying to nuke. She's got the Life 2, it's level 1, so you're gonna have 9 of them. I don't think anything can kill Black Mage 9 times.
No.
Then again, so yeah.
So it's going to come down to, again, like I said, what xIceblue is going to do for building his party.
Absolutely.
Now, he's checking chests.
Now we see a lot of divergence right now in like what dungeons they're clearing, what they're checking, whatever, but you're gonna see that come together around the hour and 15-minute mark when both of them enter Temple of Fiends at exactly the same time.
Maybe. It's certainly what I'd like to see, just for the sake of entertainment. But we shall see. So is Ice really looking for this tail?
Apparently, or another ribbon.
Second ribbon's a great pickup.
Yeah. Putting a ribbon on God is always a good idea.
Hey, there's your canal in a box.
Enjoy your 5 seconds.
Well, he puts a second ribbon on the other mage. Not sure I know why.
Probably because he thinks he has Life 2 too. Not really gonna matter when they both get nuked to death, but...
Not seeing any meme strats out of Edgeworth here. That quad X should do it. Yep.
Yep.
We're done.
We are feasting on the squid tonight.
We see Flame Shield next to Ice Armor. Whoa.
Coming back to talking about Bane and Zap and stuff like that, the encounter that xIce just finished, the Mana Cores, they're a great recipient for Bane.
They are. I've actually used them for grinds before. Just taking the Bane Sword and going to town. There's not a lot of AoE you can use with a solo thief. That's probably your best bet.
In fairness, there are a lot of things you can't do with a solo team.
So what's your thoughts on xIceblue checking these chests? Do you think this is a good idea if he's picking up XP along the way? Do you think it's a waste of time either way?
Sky 2 is amazing XP, so if you're gonna check chests, you could pick a lot worse than the second floor of Sky Castle.
I think so.
On the other hand, you're almost an hour in, and you've only got one orb lit. I don't know how he's feeling, but I feel pretty behind right now.
I would too.
Given how ridiculously free the early game was.
Always assume that your opponent has done everything right.
Oh, absolutely. And Max rolled the damage on all of his nukes, and every single Brack hit.
Yep.
Thunder never landed.
Saw level 19 there. Why would you have all three of them run? Swing a sword, there you go.
Chat pointing out that Ice never picked up the Mass Mutant. That is huge.
I thought he did. Huh.
Yeah, same. On the left-hand side, the best Zap recipient in the game.
Oh, Ice wiped out of the ice cave.
Oh, that is extremely very not good for him.
Nope. Warhammer, I don't know.
Yeah, no, like, why are you even wasting time on that junk? I mean, you've got a red mage that's loaded for bear, just let the man do his work, leave the Thor's hammer, just keep moving. Definitely not worth 45 seconds of your time.
No. And I'm wondering if he does know, if he is aware that he's in go mode. Well, I mean, effectively because he can get the Oxy Ale.
Yeah. I mean, there are still a couple of random chests left for key items, so maybe he's banking on the Oxy Ale not being available to him. Or maybe he doesn't feel confident in his ability to clear a Temple of Fiends.
That's also a possibility.
It's a legitimate concern. I mean, you've got the Power Gauntlet. Your fighter has some pretty decent armor. You got a Sun Sword. It's not the end of the world. I mean, Power Gauntlet, Defense Sword. You can finish the game on a single white mage with a Silver Hammer if you need to.
Yup. Don't recommend it, guys. Again.
Definitely not.
Don't try this at home.
Nope. Nope.
Trained professionals.
Level 11 Chaos. Never again.
No. So share your thoughts on the Vorpal Sword, Artea.
I think the Vorpal Sword is a fantastic weapon to sell 2 minutes in to get some starting cash.
There you go. Agreed.
Unlike the Katana, which is actually a fantastic weapon, that unfortunately can only be swung by a thief.
And most players aren't really apt to take one of those along with them.
Unless it's a challenge run, which I can accept, but I mean, beyond that, I mean, if you're hauling a thief around for enough levels where he can reliably swing a melee weapon and do damage, then you should probably reconsider your life choices.
And I see that Santa Maya just gave you a gift sub here.
Thank you very much for that, Maya. Much appreciated, good sir. Showing his appreciation for the correct stance to take on the Vorpal Sword, or as we like to call it, the Mean Sword.
So, Edgeworth passed xIceblue in Sky Cave.
Well, Edge just beelined the teleporters, whereas Ice spent quite a bit of time checking all those chests. It is an awful lot of chests, but it's also an awful lot of steps to take.
A lot of time.
So more encounters, stuff like that. Yeah, Ice at the same time trying to get some extra levels, so actually taking the fights instead of just running away.
Doing a pop grind with a solo thief is generally not a fun time for anyone. If I'm doing that, you know everything has gone wrong. Bane sword? Nope. How about this time? Try it again? Nothing! Keep swinging that Bane sword, buddy. He really wants that Bane kill. And there's the poison attack spell. The mages have ribbons on them, so it barely does anything. Whereas Edgeworth has made his trip to Melmond to pick some stuff up. And now he's gonna go ahead and fly through the Earth Cave. xIceblue finishing business up on Tiamat. Has a lot of catching up to do. Yep, there's really not a lot that Ice can do to catch up. Again, it's going to come down to what the game throws at Edgeworth here in the late game. So if something goes wrong in Temple of Fiends, xIceblue can certainly capitalize on it, but there's not much he can do gameplay-wise, routing-wise, decision-making-wise. That's going to put him closer to where Edgeworth is. He's picking up that fog too. And if Gyre is to be believed about his knowledge of the game Final Fantasy 1, I think he's probably knows a little bit about it. The Fog 2 spell is a fantastic pickup, even relative to Invis 2. Majin Buu asking, what is Lupa? So in the city of Lafine, where you'd normally have to have translated the slab to talk to those people, if you don't do that, they just say Lupa, Lupa, because you can't understand them. And when you do that, when you forget to turn in the slab, and you go to collect the incentive item from that person in the lower right side of Lafine, you're going to run into that problem. Everybody say hello to the vampire, and I presume goodbye. $386 gold that the vampire was guarding. Not a very big life savings, but hey, you do what you can. Ice finally getting his crown. Gonna make his trip to visit the kindly old king and pick up, I believe, the last progression item. Whereas Edgeworth is only a floor away from being ready for the Temple of Fiends at just a little bit over an hour.
Considering all the experience that xIceblue picked up, I don't think he's going to be that far behind him either.
No, but he does still have to go through the entirety of Sea Shrine and the entirety of Earth Cave.
That is true.
And that's right there, you're talking about somewhere between 6 to 8 minutes.
Yeah, give or take. I mean, 2 to 4 minutes per dungeon in Go mode is pretty accurate.
Mm. So I guess he's gonna do Earth. Nope. He's gonna go turn in that crown. But wash off the bottom of the airship in the river real quick, and then go in.
No, I mean, he just landed next to a desert. I mean, it needs a good cleaning.
Sure. Don't want anybody getting sand on their boots.
We have Mr. Bonkers in chat asking what the score is at currently. This is it. This is the final match. It's 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever wins the generous prizes donated by Maya and I believe Sardia. I'm sorry, I don't remember the actual prizes. I just know that both of you were involved behind that.
Yep. Maya generously donating the grand prize for this. The winner will take home. And we'll let the chat tell the rest of chat what that prize was that Mr. Ikben Maya was kindly enough to donate as Shadow Walker's answer. An NES Classic will go to the winner.
As Edgeworth is just wrapping up before his dive into Temple of Fiends, this would be a good time to remind our viewers just to give the runners a follow. I mean, they put on one hell of a series. If you haven't seen match 2 or even match 1, I mean, both of these matches have been incredibly close. This one, a bit on the unfortunate side, was a bit free, so we didn't see like any creative use of magic or anything crazy, like crazy strats or anything like that. It was pretty straightforward, but nonetheless, good matches all around. I mean, share the love, give them a follow, or even better, give them a sub. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
They've certainly earned it for getting this far and entertaining everybody as much as they have. And thanks again to Maya for the 10,000 bits in chat for all the orbs. There's no limit to the generosity of Ikben Maya.
It just never, there really isn't. It never ends. A fantastic member of the community. The community as a whole, all around, very friendly people, very welcoming. If you're joining us and like haven't started playing but you're interested in it, go over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and you'll find everything you need. You can roll up a seed. All you need is a completely legitimate version of the USA NES release of Final Fantasy. You'll find links to the Discord there as well if you want to get involved and join this wonderful community.
And what wonderful ambassadors we have here to demonstrate the best of the best that our community has to offer in Edgeworth and xIceblue.
xIceblue showing his love for the meme sword right there.
Or his lack thereof.
It's tough love.
It is. It is tough to say that xIceblue loves the Vorpal sword. Yes, Hangry, I would say the Edge is at least a wipe ahead.
Edge definitely has at least one wipe in him. I'd love to say that the 3-man party has a level advantage, but Ice unfortunately hasn't been able to take advantage of it. So he really doesn't have the level and XP advantage that let him plow through Temple of Fiends compared to Edgeworth.
Edge taking on the first of 5 fiends in this Temple of Them.
Wait, this is a boss encounter?
If you want to call it that. Nominally a fiend. I hope you didn't blink or you missed that fiend.
About the only thing that gets nicer in the randomizer compared to vanilla.
You don't have that round 1 nuke.
You don't have that. No, okay, I lied. Sorcerers are also something that can only be better than the vanilla version.
Yes. Cocktresses as well don't have Stone Touch in the Earth Cave.
Or ice. Yeah, that's true.
Waters can be runnable. there's
actually, the entirety of the ice cave is just better, no matter what the randomizer throws at you.
Yeah. For the most part. I mean, unrunnable Frost Giants and Frost Wolf fights, not fun. Stun Touch Ghost fight, that's a trap tile on 3rd floor, not fun. Wizards,
sure.
Not fun.
But compare that to vanilla, where it's wizards, not fun, and unrunnable, and a 9-pack. Correct. Or 7-pack, or whatever,
7.
however many. Yeah, it's always the wizards that roll high, and the Kaizokus and ogres that roll low. Sorcerers that'll trance you to death.
And there's Xcal that you can't do anything with, and we saw Carry go down within the span of about 15 seconds of fighting.
That is just the worst tease ever, picking up an Xcal and not having tail available.
That's probably what he's looking for.
Yeah, especially since he didn't pick up the Masmune in Ice Cave.
Yeah, very little is going his way in this seed.
Apparently feeling confident that he's not too far behind if he's checking all these chests.
Maybe he's gambling on a tough Topher, needing to class change. Feeling like he needs to go get Temper or Fast. Feeling like he needs to equip Dragon Armor, Aegis Shield for that extra defensive bump. A million and one reasons why he's doing this. None of them particularly correct yet. But you gotta go with your gut. Edge just got slowed down a little bit by this fight.
Yeah, but fortunately one of his fighters survived the patented Kraken Whacken.
Physical damage is not looking pretty. We have a Fade Nuke party.
Oh, this is not good. And holy smokes. Just Fade and Quad X, all the things. And
this could do it. And
he
does it.
Choice that it works.
Quad X saves the day for Edgeworth. And this is why Quad X spell is one of the favorites of your 2 commentators here.
Absolutely.
It is a pull your butt out of the fire spell just as much as anything can possibly be.
Oh, carry your early game and pull your butt out of the worst possible creeks. Unfortunately, this is a PG stream, so I have to limit my language.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure who popularized it in the community. I think like Split Bunch, myself, Edge Figaro, probably you two started using it all at the same time at a time where the meta was essentially grind a black belt and pick up damage spells and nothing else matters.
I was doing both. I was grinding the black belt and I was making use of Quad X.
Yeah, and I was just busy spreading the gospel of 3-man parties and having fighters, but you know.
Yeah. And
yeah, no, they're
it's a good strat. It's a good strat for everything that's not a 300% or higher seed.
Even then, I mean, throw it. What's the worst that can happen? It's gonna resist, but
it can work. Yeah,
it can work. I mean, as you play more and more and more runs, you sort of start getting the feel as to when it's possible or not.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the higher mob scales you go, the worse it gets. Like, I mean, your confidence in your ability to land the spell just evaporates. But at 200%, you can be pretty certain that the Quad X is gonna land.
Ooh, this starting to get a little tough.
I mean, Tiamat killed the Black Mage, but that's not exactly an accomplishment.
But the fighter that can swing is still alive. That's the important thing here. As long as that fighter stays alive,
all he needs is a fighter bruising up the White Mage just to hopefully get his party back up.
Barely gets that. This should do it.
Nope.
Ooh, still not.
Need at least one more, maybe two.
There it is. And the White Mage surviving means that we're going to see a full 4-person party on the Chaos fight, which means xIcebleu's only hope is Chaos from Hell. Otherwise, it's GG, and the tournament will end with Edgeworth holding the metaphorical trophy.
Oh. Edge getting good use of the best healing spell in the game right there.
So, love life too. Wisely putting that ribbon on his Masa user. Throwing on the opal for maximum evasion.
And the pro cave, he's just stripping his mages bare for it.
Anything and everything you can throw on that fighter to keep him alive in this fight.
Yeah, all that's missing is putting him in the last slot. What are you doing, Edge?
Here it is for all the marbles. Can he get through Chaos on his first attempt? Ouch!
Ooh. That's gotta hurt.
And we see what all of that extra damage absorption did. He still got whacked for 300. I think that was only one hit, too.
Yeah, I guess hits like that, heal 3 is just not gonna cut it.
Everybody gets healed.
And the heal stuff.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, buddy, that was a nasty, nasty, nasty thing to get. Oh, this could be just catastrophic.
He's still in it.
The White Mage has 0 offense.
Yeah, this is not good. But
no.
If he keeps inking like that, then Edge is pretty much set.
Just gonna come down to if his fighter survives, because nobody else can do enough damage to pull this fight out. One hit, and his fighter's dead. And xIceblue has a breath of life.
Yep. They're gonna restart at about the same time. Ice is still gonna be a bit behind though, because he's checking all these chests.
I'm not willing necessarily to write Edgeworth's fight is over now, but it's going to be a slog from hell.
It is not looking good.
No. He'll run out of healing ability. Now if he lands a Bane, I'm gonna get some fantasy points, but all the same, that would be a miracle hit.
Here's the thing though, he can reach unhittable status, so he should focus on that. Which he's doing with the Invis 2 casts, but he also has a white shirt he could be using.
And there's a nuclear out there.
After that, yeah, that's the thing. Chaos has nuclear. We haven't seen him really cast all that much. So maybe he has a nasty spell list.
He may.
Question in chat: Can Spider actually? Can Bane actually work?
Yes.
It can. Anything can work 3 out of 256 times.
Correct. Yeah, we've seen several Banes go off on Chaos before.
Absolutely.
And the Black Mage is gone.
And
Edgeworth wisely resetting.
That's like, not worth it. I mean, I get his position of just trying to grind it out because you're at 100. Yeah, you're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. xIceblue is still at least 3 or 4 minutes behind at this point. Probably closer to 4, maybe 5.
It depends on his heal potion stock. I don't know if he needs to restock or anything like that, but I mean, at this point, I mean, even your timer is telling you, like, come on, step on the gas. Like, stop checking chests. Just dive Temple of Fiends.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Files pointing out a party strategy 101 pointer here that you put the God Knight in the back row. You do that with your Black Belt, you do that with your Knight, whoever your tank is. Your mages are expendable. You need damage output to get through that fight. It doesn't matter how many people cross that finish line as long as someone does. xIceblue needs some God RNG to win this now. And I think since he got that bottle, he's probably still going to stop off in Gaia. Ice got the break he needed, but I don't know if he's going to be able to capitalize on it, because I don't think Edge is going to wipe a second time. Doesn't seem too likely to me.
In chat, we were talking about Xfer, and someone was asking, like, I thought Xfer doesn't do anything. Well, in the base game, there are a ton of spells that don't do anything, but the randomizer actually fixes most of them, if not all at this point. I mean, Lock is still complete rubbish and useless, but it works. It's just that the fact that it works doesn't matter.
Right.
But Xfer is now a pretty decent offensive spell if you can land it, and it has a pretty high hit rate compared to most spells. I mean, Nuke outclasses everything, but outside of Nuke, Xfer is great, which will destroy all resistances that a monster has. So you could potentially Xfer Lich and then quad X him if for some reason one melee swing doesn't take him down.
xIceblue about to meet up with Kraken 1, and Edgeworth is a floor away from re-encountering Kraken 2. And as much as again, I have to stay impartial in this commentary, and I am. I love both of these racers more than just about anybody else in the community. But I've been a huge believer in xIceblue. I started that hashtag xIbelieve. I know he's capable of pulling out victories where it seems otherwise impossible, but he's in bad shape right now.
He is in a very bad shape. I mean, I'm in the same position as you. I mean, both of these people are people I interact with on a, like, not daily basis, but, regular basis. Both people I like. But I mean, at this point, Ice is in a bad shape, and he made this happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, you can't talk about bad luck or anything like that. I mean, okay, yeah, he had a wipe in Ice Cave or whatever, but
this wasn't.
He lost the game way before that.
It wasn't the Lupa alone. It wasn't.
Absolutely not. It's just across the entire run, Edge played a better game.
He did. He decided to go with what he had rather than trying to find more, and that all this chest checking. If Ice had not done that, the position he'd be in right now.
Here's the thing. Edge decided to go what he had, yes, in the later game, but in the early game, I mean, he saw that he had what he had available, which in this case was pretty much everything in the kitchen sink.
Yes.
and just went for it. He didn't go, oh, well, let's stop by pop and grind some levels or anything. No, you got the spell charge. Just dive. Just dive. Kill stuff as it comes. You'll get the levels. You'll be good in time for Gary, who happens to have Stone Touch, and you clutch a win off of it. But
Well,
he made the right calls. And
there's
there's your
your
tail.
Go ahead, turn that in, class change, and maybe you'll get some spells you can use before Edgeworth dot duns.
Get a tail from scantily clad women. Why doesn't that ever happen to me?
You don't walk around with a rat's tail in your pocket, I guess. I don't know.
Pretty sure that would be a big deterrent to it. Not, wouldn't improve my odds.
Yeah, in the real world, it's not generally a beneficial thing. 344 nuke, 156 fade. The MDef almost seems lower this time around, even though we know that's not the case.
Wait, you mean the real world and Final Fantasy are two very different things?
Yeah, to some people.
So I can't use a stone to make my car fly?
If you can figure out a way to make that work, let us know. Unless plutonium counts as a stone.
Seafood party makes over on Edge's side, getting in a bit of trouble.
Ice going to pick up a temper fast spell? What was his whole idea here?
Picking up life 2 on the Knights, but he's never going to be able to cast it, so why are you doing that?
Well, he, again, needs a wipe out of Edgeworth. Just to catch up.
I mean, it can happen.
It can.
I'm not saying it won't.
Let's be realistic. It won't, but it can.
It can, but Edge knows exactly what he's walking into. He knows what Chaos has, and okay, nuclear. You can't really do anything about it except stock more levels for more MDef.
I don't want to commentate or curse Edgeworth, but he is too damn good of a player to let the same things befoul him that happened last time.
He's aware that Chaos hits like a freight train of cargo trucks, so the first thing he's going to do is Invis 2 on his White Mage and use the White Shirt on somebody else.
Yes.
So you get 2 casts in.
Layer up immediately.
Yeah, exactly. He's hitting for 60 bajillion. What's the White Shirt going to change on the White Mage anyway?
Right. I forgot how problematic this Tiamat fight was. Ooh!
It is!
Ooh, again, shoestrings this fight. That's twice in a row. That's twice in a row he is shoestring. Or shoestrung. Because if that fighter dies, I don't know that White Mage has the firepower to get out of that fight.
I didn't see if he had any fade casts left yet.
I don't know that he did. And if he did, he had 1, and what are you going to have for Chaos here?
Well, in fairness, Fade's not going to dent this Chaos. All he needs to do is stack up evasion, power gauntlet up the wazoo, and let God do his work.
Yeah, he's got to reposition him. There he goes.
There we go. That's
the right
thing he
place.
should have done the last time.
That's the right place to put that fighter.
Absolutely.
Now, if Chaos goes hunting for him, we can talk about bad RNG all we want.
Well, of course it's going to happen now, but that is the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Versetti, I don't believe that Arte is wrong about the Vorpal whatsoever, but most definitely doing our best on the commentary booth.
Yeah. As an incredibly humble person, I find it incredibly easy to say that I'm not wrong. But no, honestly, thank you very much for the comment. It much appreciated.
Yes. White Mage barely hanging on. That White Mage knows how to survive. Just say that. Well,
goodbye, Cell.
That's that. But the important thing is that Goku has taken 0 hits from Chaos thus far. And with enough buffs of Power Gauntlet, I think this is all academic. Ooh, that's a big chunk.
Yeah. It's not good, but we know he follows up with Ink. But unfortunately for him, he follows up with Ink immediately afterwards. We didn't see the skill that came after that.
It's another Ink. There you go.
Well, there you go. Sigh of relief
we
on
now
Edge's
know.
side.
So the fighters stand alone. We have one with a heal staff and one with a pokey stick.
At some point, you just have to start swinging. Holy.
We might be at that point.
Edge, please start swinging.
Yes. Yeah, they're practically unhittable. Only a crit. Well,
yeah.
390 is a good hit.
390 is a good hit, but he can have up to 4,000.
Yep.
Ice is coming in hot.
Oh, good no! Oh!
There we go, another nuclear.
Oh! Well...
yeah. Swing and pray.
This is crazy. Oh.
He's got
a
big hit from Goku,
but holding on.
In trouble because nuclear is coming up.
Oh
there
no! Oh, Edgeworth.
Oh, that
God.
is extremely bad.
Oh no!
So
I don't care who you're rooting for, and I'm not rooting for either one of them at this point. That is such a heartbreaking, gut wrenching thing to see happen. He had to get points away from killing him. He did everything right.
He had like, I don't know, maybe 100, 200 hit points left on him.
Couldn't have had much. He did literally everything he could have possibly done right. He did right. He got some really, really bad rolls on nuclears. His damage wasn't fantastic until the very, very end when it was too late. Now, xIceblue has the opportunity that he practically squandered with all those chest checks. But if he plays a better game here on these last 3 bosses and takes it down, he will earn it.
I would love to say yes, but he doesn't have a Masa.
He does not.
So he is behind on the melee front. I mean, xCal and Masa are pretty much equivalent, except when it comes to hit breakpoints on most mobs in the game, because pretty much everybody has a weakness. So xCal hits for extra damage, which is another feature of the randomizer, actually. Elemental and Geetus, so like, say, giants or dragons or stuff like that, well, those weaknesses work and buff the damage of the weapon. Compared to vanilla, where the only thing you want to use is a silver sword, then the ice sword, then xCal and mass, and that's pretty much it.
Ooh, this is not a good ambush.
It's really good XP though.
It's fantastic XP, but I don't think he's interested in that. Another ambush.
Apparently not.
Wow.
But when he inevitably gets his rear end handed to him by Tiamat or Chaos, he's probably going to take it the next time around.
If he gets that far. This was a free seed, Spider. In all fairness.
Honestly, it really was. It's just they are both incredibly low leveled by virtue of being a 4 and a 3-man party instead of a 2-man.
Now, could we have done a successful 2-man party this time around and still had a survivable chaos fight?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Do you think you could get enough defense up in time to prevent the...
You don't even care. You honestly don't even care. Your knight just swings, your black mage just fasts and tempers, and the black mage will soak a nuke and a nuclear back to back.
You're gonna be talking about a 0-man party soon?
Well, unfortunately, I really, 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 really tried to make solo fighter consistent, but I can't.
No, there's no way.
So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to damn the 3rd party member yet. Working on it.
I know how to run a solo thief, though. If you're interested in learning a little bit of strat on that.
Oh, yeah, no, just,
Yeah.
yeah, about that.
Yeah, a two-man Artea versus a one-man me. I give you the edge on that one 100 times out of 100. Oh no.
Oh. Yeah, we're not talking about affordable edge.
Oh, he does a reset.
Oh, that's
Yikes.
good news for Edgeworth.
It is.
So, for those of you just joining us at the 1 hour and 30 minutes mark, welcome to the Temple of Fiends simulator.
Yeah. Imagine if Chaos can win the NES Classic. Yeah. Then he's going to take that back in time 2,000 years and change the course of history. Introduce video games to the Roman Empire and make them fall a little bit faster. The winner of this tournament, the winner of this match, is every spectator here for it. Yeah, roughly half of the stream has been Temple of Fiends. It's very close.
No, we're at a third right now. Edge entered Temple of Fiends at 105, so it's only been 30 minutes, so a bit under a third.
Unrunnable. Well, not unrunnable, but having a hard time running from it. I did not count how much damage Edge was doing to Chaos, but it was hypothetically very, very close at that point. I can't imagine how much more Chaos could have. So what can Ice pull out against Chaos that Edge hasn't? Not much.
I mean, in a world where he went 3-man and did it correctly, he'd have a significant level advantage, just in terms of raw damage from strength and max HP. Unfortunately, he wasn't quite able to pull that off this run. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's randomizer.
It's a tough tightrope to walk. Progress, yeah. Progressing and leveling at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's an art form.
I mean, it is Final Fantasy to begin with, so
yeah.
RNG is a thing.
Yes.
I think I have maybe 10 runs out of 100 that make it past Astos, so... You know, I mean, it's Final Fantasy, and it's the randomizer, and these things happen, so...
And Edgeworth has gotten sack-whacked twice by Chaos, and even these pickup fights here are causing him some issues.
Yeah, but I mean, at level 20, it's definitely feasible.
Yeah.
I mean, you can clear Temple of Fiends, it's not a problem. You're level 20, it can be done. But if you want to be absolutely sure, that's a bit on the low side.
Get him up to at least mid to high 20s going in.
I mean, there's the thing. You absolutely can, but nuke and nuclear are still scary.
Yes.
Maybe a third of the reason I really, really, really like 2-man parties is that you don't care about nuke and nuclear. You don't have to. The other 2/3 being just that you reach those breakpoints crazy early compared to everyone else.
Night Dew, you most certainly did reach it in time for Topher. You could have came. It's been going on since probably the 110, 115 mark, I think.
Yeah. Edge entered Topher at 107, so we've been here for at least almost 31 minutes now.
Well, they're on the same floor now.
Yeah, Fuchsia and Cha pointing out that you might want to take those water encounters. Knowing what's coming up, I would definitely want to try to take as much XP as I can just to get that extra level up, that extra HP. Gonna help you out. I mean, even if it's not a strong HP level up, because the way that levels work in Final Fantasy, each class has like on level up, you gain a certain amount of HP at random, plus a quarter of your vitality, plus, you know, it's a bit odd like that, but every once in a while you get a strong HP level up, which is just a flat increase of 20 to 30. I don't remember the exact amount.
That nuke hit for nearly minimum damage.
Yeah.
That was the last nuke in his arsenal.
Usually what happens. Honestly, nuke, fun spell, far from being the best one in the game.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's, I mean, even with its insane hit rating, mobs late game just have too much MDF.
You need to look at a black mage like a support character, like you look at a white mage as a support character, if you want to succeed with that character.
Your black mage is there to carry everyone else until the other people are able to stand up by themselves, whether it's through gears or through levels or whatever it is. And after that, your black mage just becomes a fast and temper dispenser.
Yep.
And clears popcorn enemies like the seafood party mix or whatever, throw a lit 3, throw an ice 3, whatever. But on actual boss fights, the black mage isn't what's doing damage. He's doing damage indirectly by fasting fighters or black belts and casting temper.
xIceblue getting stuck in another worm fight.
We're almost neck and neck here.
Chaos round 3. Yeah, but xIceblue has to get through a hellish team map fight that Edgeworth has had trouble with 3 times out of 3. A little bit better this time.
But Edge still has to survive that chaos.
He does.
He doesn't have that much more levels than he did the first 2 times around.
Nope. So what changes in the strats if you're Edge at this point, if anything? Because it seemed like he did everything right in that last fight.
Kill the white mage, go down Temple of Fiends, get some more levels on the people that actually matter. Because the white mage doesn't do jack in combat, like absolutely nothing. If you're healing in combat, you're screwed. Core principle of Final Fantasy: offense is always better than defense.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a white mage is fun, and yes, a white mage has life 2 and cure 4 and all that jazz. But in actual combat, do more damage, and you won't need the healing. And the white mage doesn't do any healing, any damage.
Everyone survived the nuclear.
That is good news.
Now we're watching xIceblue see if he can get through this team map fight. And just seeing the white mage go down.
Well, the good news for Edge is he knows he has at least 3 free turns of skill casts.
Yes. Gonna have enough time to heal 3 his way all the way back up and heal step his way all the way back to, I think, his level 5, like 500 HP.
Well, even if he doesn't heal the mages back up and they die, at least he gets the evasion stacks up.
Well, xIceblue made it through, and luckily, the thing about that life 2 that he bought, he doesn't have any charges of it. So, incoming reset at this point. It's basically, well, he doesn't even have a defense sword, does he?
Well, Ice has one significant advantage in terms of just raw absorb on the fighter.
That's true.
It is not insignificant.
Yeah. It might not be significant enough, because he almost got 2 shot there.
Yeah, no.
That's it.
That is it. That is Ripperoni.
Yep.
But Edge ain't out of the woods either.
Ice's only real hope here is if he decides right now to grind, which he's not going to decide to do.
Yeah, apparently not. Ice is now on, the 7th Topher dive of the night? Or 6th, no, 6th rather. Yeah. Edge is on his 3rd, Ice is on his 3rd.
Edgeworth has made the chaos fight all 3 times. xIceblue has made it there just this last time. He's keeping Goku healthy, bonking enough. Yeah, it's Nuclear, Ink, Inferno. That's the skills. I don't think he has any spells. I don't think we've seen spells. And Black Mage is gone. Swing away. Swing, swing, swing.
Black Mage did something that surprises approximately no one.
Died, yeah. He may have this in the bag at this point. Because he's going to have to come around twice with Nuclear, and Goku's swinging for way too much damage. Every time Chaos attacks physical, it's giving Edge that much better of a chance to win. It still wasn't enough. Ooh, 764. I think this is...
Yep, that is about
maybe
a good game for Edge in about...
Maybe get your GGs ready, everyone.
Yeah. I'd say give it another 20 seconds. Another round or two still, but he's pretty much there. The Nuclear is out of the picture, so all he has to worry about... He has at least 2 free rounds
there
left,
it is.
So yeah,
ladies and
there it
gentlemen,
is.
Your champion of the Spring-Summer Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Tournament, Mr. Edgeworth, on his 3rd attempt against Chaos. A valiant, valiant effort. GG to both.
The Alpha Tyro showing why he's the Alpha.
And obviously we're going to want to get both of these folks in here to discuss not only this game, but their whole match and their whole tournament experience up to this point. No ending screen. He's really dead. This is really the end. The tournament is over. Edgeworth, GG, congratulations on winning the Spring-Summer Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament.
Thank God.
what a smoker this was.
This reminded me of the seed that you and I played with the Infinite Evade Chaos, and I was just wondering, like, is Ice just gonna leave and level up some more and then come back and just destroy this? I don't know what.
Yeah, far from a GG. That shit was dumb.
I mean, I was tilting so hard I was throwing the Bane Sword out there.
Yeah, that was something. That was something. Oh, we definitely want to get Ice in here if he's...
That seed was
willing.
literal cancer.
Okay. I don't know whose audio we're hearing, but I don't know if that's going live or not. We may want to... Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, whomever is playing audio in the
Maya,
background,
Maya,
maybe
Maya.
cut that.
Thank you for the...
Yeah.
I should have mine muted, I think.
It's not mine.
I appreciate
definitely...
that, but you rolled an absolutely garbage seed, and I hate you for it.
That Chaos, though, he was real happy to have an absurdly short and very powerful skill list and use it all the time.
Nuclear and Inferno are not two things you want to have in a skill list, even with double ink. And yeah, this, you said it earlier. I was kind of distracted by that background chatter, but this was reminiscent of our max evasion, Cure 4 double nuke chaos in our first game against one another in the last tournament.
Yeah, and I mean the third time through, I realized I needed all of like the heal 3 charges that I could get on the White Mage. It was so brutal.
Yep.
And,
How the fuck did he enter?
I mean,
someone.
The crit on the knight with the heal staff too, like that. If that had gone the other way, that's another wipe.
They need to mute me then, because I quit the race.
This was
Whatever.
I mean, it's just like I was talking about. It's like the game that we played in the tournament.
How did he enter Temple of Fiends in an hour 7? What? Everything in this seed had cancer. everything in the seed had cancer.
Yeah, so as the leading representative of Team Dan Anything That Moves, any thoughts on why you chose to go with a 4-man party instead of, say, a 3-man, or my personal favorite, a 2?
So the the experience boost is nice, but I feel like I've been the way these seeds have been turning out, I've been hitting like 24, just taking efficient fights and going through things. And I think with 200%, I think the 3-man strategy is the right strategy, but it's also not as consistent, and you could fall victim to really not having anything to deal with a boss that doesn't have a script and just likes to punch you.
Stacking is easy.
Yeah, and then being able to run away from things. It's a little safer. It's not the most efficient play, and certainly, I think in a non-tournament setting, I'd be running, 3-man parties. If I just saw like, oh, the magic is terrible, 1 through 5, well, you get to lie on the ground for the rest of the game.
It was after the first 2 wipes, I really thought it was potentially anybody's race, even though with what xIceblue had in terms of levels and what he had relative to you in spells and equipment, he class changed, so he had a little bit more beef on his main knight. But when you can't stack your defense, it's really tough to make that matter. And we're joined in chat now officially by xIceblue. GG to you, and hell of a tournament. Regardless of the outcome, you deserved your spot here. This championship was definitely made better by your presence in it.
Yeah, thanks.
Place seed directly in dumpster.
Yes.
I don't even understand what happened that seed. I don't even understand what I did wrong that seed, and whatever.
One of the things I was curious about was what some of the late game chest checking. If you were looking for tail specifically for the sake of equipping the Dragon Armor Aegis Shield, for the sake of getting life 2 on the knights, or, what the thought process was on that, or for some reason you thought you weren't in go mode yet.
Oh, I knew I was in go mode. I was just horrendously under equipped.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the theories that Arte and I were floating about what the chests were. So part of the difference in terms of your time of entry into Temple of Fiends was because of that. I wouldn't say that the Lupa Lupa was a big time loss. It was maybe 2 minutes, but it was more the chests. Edgeworth kind of made a conscientious decision to say the heck with the tail and bore forward. And it almost wasn't enough, as you saw with the Chaos fight, but it, in terms of time and the ability to get some information early and come back knowing what Chaos had in store for him, I think made a bit of a difference. But with that said, Edgeworth, what were your thoughts on that third attempt, the third and final attempt on Chaos?
I felt pretty good about that one until the knight got crit, because I figured 300 health on both of them, and I could still grind out the use of the heal staff a little bit more. And then he just gets socked and poisoned, and I'm like, oh no. Maybe I can get a little more heal. No, here comes Inferno. So I figured I had enough to... I was just hoping for a decent sized crit, and I think I got like 1 for 700 or something.
You did. Yeah. That happened in your second and your third fight.
Yeah, so that was just, at that point it was just hold A, but I had done way more damage up to that point, and he still had, I think, to shoot through another ink and an Inferno, so I felt like I had a good shot.
he certainly got addicted to physical attacks near the end of that, which that could have gone the other way, but it worked out for you.
That was one of the strategies that I had. I just not having... So I had to make a decision whether I wanted to go with steel armor or gold bracelets on the knights, and I went with gold bracelets because I had 2 casters of invis and figured the evasion, minus the evasion penalty, I would be able to get the dodge rate up quite a lot faster with gold bracelets.
Definitely.
And Kraken killed anything that moved anyway, so it wasn't too bad.
No, that's certainly, I agree with using that. I'm not a fan of steel armor. Some people are. I hate it. I hate losing that much evasion.
I think early on steel armor is fantastic, but you definitely want to find something better for the end game. The nice thing about the steel armor, and I think it was Fuchsia that kind of showed me this, is with how tanky you are to the mid game enemies, you use a lot less in the way of heal potions, and it's kind of a corollary to Artea's double fighter strategies too. Like,
sure,
it's just that much less time menuing.
In fairness, I've mostly set those aside for just solo fighter with solo black mage.
Yeah, that's a party that I am not brave enough to try in a tournament setting. But I mean, like, I can definitely see it working. I would like to have the option to do that if I had life on the night, but I am not brave enough to do it without that.
Honestly, it's surprisingly safer than you first expect. I used to run a lot of fighter red mage, and I used to run that because I was like, okay, red mage has white magic, life, whatever, it's a bit safer, more HP, can melee, stuff like that. But the black mage is just that much faster, that much more casts, which in turn translates to more XP, more charges. Overall, it's equivalent in safety to possibly better because you can just cast that much more.
Yeah, the number of casts and the fact that you get them earlier is definitely a selling point for the red mage. Or the black mage. That might be something that would become a lot clearer with lower experience values, I think.
So I'll let Ice get a little time here if you'd like. We heard a little bit of the off stream. Your thoughts on the carcinogenic quality of this seed, which I think we're all going to agree with. But is there anything specific about the run, about the seed, or the match overall, the tournament overall, that you would like to throw out there?
Triple crit through 6 stacks of evasion from Tiamat 2 is what ruined that run for me, because I could have finished that chaos had my 2 life 2 casters not gotten obliterated by crits through, multiple stacks of evasion.
That was most definitely a painful thing to watch. I mean, it's the both of you in your Tiamat fights. Edge had 2 out of 3 of his Tiamat fights come down to double-digit HP on a solo character, if I'm not mistaken, or it was like down to 1 or down to 2 characters each with double-digit HP, and then a real heartbreaker both in the first and second chaos fights. And you were having some atrocious luck there with Tiamat as well. So it certainly was that kind of seed. The only thing you wish you could have had in that point was a level 32 black belt. that's really it. Like 3 out of the 4 of us, I know, will agree. I know Artea probably won't.
Nope. I'm wondering why you didn't kill him off earlier.
Exactly. So I have an announcement here to make on the bonus stream, the forced party that the runners are going to be using for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament bonus stream, by a margin of, I believe, 4 votes. It's going to be the white mage. So those who are qualified for this will be running the white mage party, 4 of them. And I believe I've been given the the privilege of announcing the people who qualified for the bonus stream as well. That's going to be Mr. xIceblue, of course. We've got, looks like, I don't know if Czar meant to put Fuzzy Mage here or if he meant to put Edgeworth, but I was to assume that Edgeworth would be in the bonus stream regardless.
I'm being substituted for memes.
It happens in this community. And the two people in the league who scored the highest were the two people who picked xIceblue and Edgeworth to make the final. That was Chitin619 and me. So I'm going to be in my second straight bonus stream, as is Edgeworth, as is xIceblue, and Chitin is going to be on the other side of commentary. He graced us with his presence on the microphone for the last one. Now he's going to be playing for you. So we're going to see a little bit of the old school from in this bonus stream, which I think is going to happen in about 2 weeks from now. So please be here for that. And my personal announcement, just as I ran a solo thief in that bonus stream, gonna do it again. Gonna run a solo white mage alongside everybody else's 4-person parties. So lock in. This might be another one where you need to bring a lunch. And I will play it through all the way from solo start out all the way through to chaos dying.
Oh my. Let's not have slow too.
You and me both, my friend. You and me both. So, I don't know if Edge, Ice, if either of you have anything to throw out there before we kind of put a bow on this.
Nah.
Edge?
Just thanks to everybody who was involved in the tournament in a lot of different capacities. The community has gotten a lot larger, and it's growing significantly. And I mean, these events are becoming more and more exciting. And really, I can't wait to see like the weekly races coming up in the league, and it's going to be a lot of fun in the community, and really we couldn't have done it without the support of Randomania, Speed Gaming, and all the folks in the community that have been chipping in, tracking, restreaming, doing commentary. So on behalf of the community, thanks for all the hard work, everyone.
Really. Everybody who has chipped in their time during this tournament to do commentating, to do tracking, to do restreaming. Obviously, we want to give Feasel thanks for the access here to the Speed Gaming Network, for being our hosts here. Thanks, like you said, to Randomania for hosting a great number of our races as well, and in a pinch many times. Thanks to everybody who joined up and ran, whether you made it through the Swiss rounds to the brackets or not, whether you made it to this final race or not. Your presence was very entertaining, and everybody who's had a chance to watch any of the races in this tournament got a lot out of it, I think. And the community has grown in leaps and bounds because of the hard work everybody else has put in. So thank you to everyone. I'm going to go ahead and send this off here to Artea. I'm going to let him say goodbye to you all. And congratulations again to Edgeworth on winning this tournament. Congrats to xIceblue for making it all the way to the finals here for the second straight year. And I'm hoping to see you here a third time, and possibly with a different outcome.
I just, same as everyone else, give huge thanks to Feasel on Speed Gaming and Zelnas, who was in charge of doing all the behind-the-scenes work for this match in particular. Congratulations to Edgeworth on your win. Ice making it to the finals for a second tournament in a row. And if you're in chat right now, the runners' channels should be coming up. Do give them a follow. If you've enjoyed what you've watched here, go over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com and you'll find everything you need, whether that is to create a seed and join the madness for yourself, or the link to the Discord channel where you can join the community, get involved, get some help if you need it. Don't be shy, nobody bites. And that will be it for me as well. So, have a nice evening, folks.
And before we forget, thank you for Tyrannex tracking here at the last second when we had to have somebody bow out for an emergency. So you did a fantastic job. Your work is very much appreciated. And for Artea, for everybody else, thank you very much for attending this tournament. And we look forward to seeing you for the post-tournament celebrations, for the bonus stream, blooper reel, and everything to come thereafter. Thank you very much. See you next mission.
Stay tuned for some Link to the Past randomizer action on this channel.